and you just can't see anything, or these curves you can't see anything. And a lot of times you come up, and there's just a group of bikers, and they're just all over the road. They can't hear anything, so we're like, all right. So we throw on some Watch the Throne, pump it super loud, open all the windows, and we just roll past these bikers really slow, and we're all just dancing in the car. And then one biker, and then so that happened the first time, they waved at us, and then later we hit another group of bikers, and we're driving, and I'm passing them, and I'm going like probably like 25
miles an hour.
25 miles an hour. I don't know what it was in kilometers. And then all of a sudden, this old man biker just swerves in front of the car, and I like slam the brakes, and
he keeps going in our lane.
I'm going very slowly behind him, really close. He just keeps going in our lane.
And we're in a herd of bikers at this point.
They're everywhere. And then finally, he just like looks back, sees us, and then he like gives this really intense signal to the other bikers to stop and let him in. And he like sneaks his way in. There was plenty of room. He could have just moved. But he like gets in, just keep the line apparently. And then we go, and then we see a Range Rover flying down the road towards us.
And then have to lock it down as he was going up the hill and crested.
Yeah.
And almost killed all of them.
That was scary.
Yeah, I thought someone was.
That guy was going. He was booking it. He was going 70.
So from there, heading back to the coast, we headed back west, back towards. We were gonna take the coast, hit some fishing villages, and make it back to Reykjavik. So we keep going along the coast. It's just farm after farm after farm, hours of farm. We hit Selfoss and we head south.
Yeah, because we gotta go back because there's no bridge.
Yeah, so you had to go back up, get it back on 1, go to Selfoss, drop down on 32, and take a bridge, and then you're back on the coastline. And we're driving, and we're like, it's getting near dinner time, so we'll go into this town up here.
Grindavik was that?
Yeah, it
was it Grindavik?
It was.
It wasn't quite there yet. We were coming like.
We were heading towards this
Portloff Schofen.
Yeah, that
so
one.
we see the town for the sign for Portloff Schofen, and so we decided to head into town. And on the outskirts, it's nothing but like these massive industrial complexes, and it's just surrounded by like this really like hellish, almost like Martian landscape. So we like pull in, go through the roundabout, like turn. We're like, this looks like a downtown area, and it's just nothing but like really run down houses,
all super cement block.
Yeah, like
it looked like
this was Warsaw,
Ukraine,
Chernobyl, Pripyat. It was an awful scene. So we're driving through there.
Yeah, man,
Didn't see a soul. And
Except
then there were these 2 little girls, like 2 or 3 years old, just walking on the side of the road holding hands. And so, what else would we do except rev the engine and do a burnout beside them and drive off?
Of course, a burnout in a Yaris is...
You can't do a burnout.
It's like a bicycle.
It's more of like a slow acceleration to 25.
You could have honestly raced this car.
But the town was just like rundown houses and then a water park.
Yeah,
water park. A swimming pool with like, you could see the slide inside and everything. And then just keep driving, and it's like crappy rundown houses, and there's just like one like kind of nice house with these like really classic cars, and it was just like, why in the hell?
Yeah, it was weird. They were like really like huge apartments and really like Soviet bloc style.
Yeah, there's lots of broken windows.
So we got out of there ASAP.
It took a little longer than we needed.
Headed back west. Followed the coastline. Still really bizarre landscape.
Ever.
Kind of like when we were going from Keflavik to Reykjavik, and it's just like the big magma rocks that were really sharp and moss.
It was like Mordor.
Yeah, it was all like that.
We're getting close to Mordor.
So we know what road we need to take, and it goes through Krasuvik. Here's Selfoss. We follow this way into Porklothen. Terrible experience there, so we head up, and we're going to take Highway 42 back up to Reykjavik through Vogar Mountains.
Yeah, and on the mountains we just see, we're coming around a bend, and on top of the mountain we just see steam billowing. It's just tons of steam. It looks like a fire, except it was all white, so it had that steam.
And just to give like the sense, this was probably like an hour and a half, no car.
Yeah, we hadn't seen car.
Not seen a car for hours.
It was
on Highway 42 heading to the mountains. Mordor.
And so we, this was a little before real Mordor. This is like pre-Mordor. And so we're going, and then we see this, and then like all of a sudden this little complex of hot springs and stuff.
Yeah,
and geysers.
It was a lot like Yellowstone in the mud pots.
It was
right after that really weird farm.
Yeah, there was
this massive farm, just 2 massive concrete like
there were silos without the tops,
and
it was no one there. It was creepy. And
we didn't see anyone for hours.
Yeah, and we get into we decide to stop at the hot springs.
Spent
and we're going
45 minutes there.
Yeah, we were not quite respecting the ropes. to say the least.
Holes this big.
Our
signs.
face, we were just looking into the geysers. It's like, whoa,
Signs that
steam
we-
down there. Look how deep
Oh,
that is. You
Look
got
at that boiling mud.
Yeah, we learned
Yeah.
it was like 1,000 meters deep. So that's
200 degrees Celsius. Signs that were like, beware of steam explosions quite often.
But me and Duncan like walk up first, and there's this like
It was like a patio.
little it was like a
Yeah.
little patio like right out in front of the first big one, and we just right when you step on the wood, it was just
The
most, like,
grossest.
It was
overpowering.
it was a hot shower here. Time was about 150. I mean, I almost just vomited on the spot. It was so.
We had to run
it was
through it on our way
so
back.
Yeah.
Oh.
so
So
disgusting.
yeah, we climbed to the top of the mountain. The steam was a big letdown. The ground was just
That
steaming.
mountain
There weren't even
climb
holes.
was
I thought I was going to die.
treacherous. The wind, oh my word.
You could lean into the wind and it would just hold you up.
Yeah. Except well, halfway up, there's this big rock just over a ravine, I guess it was. And I had to go to the bathroom pretty bad at this point. I was really yearning all week for a really epic urination. I was thinking, first thought was peeing from the North American plate to the Eurasian plate the first day. Literally peeing on Europe. And just other places we were trying to pee off. And so I see this rock, and I'm like, this is a golden opportunity, pun intended. And I climb up on it. I'm barely able to stand. The wind is blowing every which way. It's switching directions. I'm shaking like this, and I'm just like, I'm letting loose. It is flying like 200 feet in the air because the wind's at my back. It was terrifying. I thought I was going to die many a time. I was
had
shuffling up there.
Quite a similar experience on Highway 1. We stopped at this school to go look at this
That was cool.
massive waterfall.
This
It's
is like-
blowing in the wind.
How
This is
far away is it?
hours. This is-
Hours before. This was like 3
on
hours.
the other side of Selphos.
Yeah.
And so I go to the bathroom and I'm just like peeing and a massive gust of wind comes and it just blew back and it was awful, terrible experience.
But also there was at that same school there was this old basketball hoop, and it was cool. It was really run down. It was only 8.
It was like 8 feet.
We could jump and grab the rim pretty easily. But anyways, so I'm peeing off this rock and it's awesome, and we climb up. And John has a great idea. Hey, let's run it. It'll be easier. I'm like wheezing.
I
asshole
ran
is
like
just
half this
What
mountain.
are you doing? It was awful. We finally get up, and then it's just steam coming out of the ground. We
Yeah.
couldn't even get close to
There
it.
weren't even holes, it was just steaming mud.
No,
Yeah.
the view was amazing.
The view
There's
was incredible.
no one there, and
You
it's
couldn't see the car.
yeah, it's just like gray, and then it's perfectly blue.
And all the other
Just
mountains
blue.
around us were steaming too.
Yeah.
And there were
Yeah.
massive, just like turquoise blue lakes that you could see.
Yeah, it was cool. And then on the way down, we like slowly made our way down.
Yeah, that was
Ran through the sulfur smell
literally
Oh,
sprinted
to get back to the car.
That was
And then we get back in the car. And at this point we're on a dirt road. We've been on a dirt
No,
road.
we're still
Oh, is
on
that
pavement.
Yeah.
Because
Oh.
that was a tourist thing.
And then
right
like
after
2 or
that,
3 minutes probably. It was pretty fast after that.
there's a sign and it's like
yeah.
exclamation point and like a dude with like a shovel and I'm like, what does that mean? So I pull up my phone and I'm like going through the list, I'm looking for it and it's like, now leaving priority maintained road, no longer maintained.
So we're thinking U.S. soldiers probably built this in the 40s, if we're lucky. And so we're driving, and there's these mountain roads. It's just gravel. There's
One lane.
There's these big jagged rocks. We expect orcs or like the Uruk-hai to come and just start attacking our car.
Ambush.
And we're going like there's a road that just goes flat, and then all of a sudden there's a mountain. And instead of like most roads just snake up the mountain, this one's just straight up and then straight down. I could have swore the Yaris was on no wheels when we were on the peak. We had to like lean and knock it over. And we're going, and then all of a sudden we see a boulder on the side of a road. And
It's
we're
at the
driving
top-
through
it's
this.
at
This
the-
is like
it's
an
at the-
hour.
it's at the
We're
top.
still
Yeah.
driving an hour, and it's at a peak, and it's this giant boulder, and on the side is a plaque. So we just stop in the middle of the road by the plaque.
because
and we read
no
it.
one's gonna hit us.
Yeah, but we haven't seen
No
a car
chance.
in basically
3
days.
hours.
Except for the one car that we passed that was abandoned with all
Yeah.
4 tires slashed.
That we
No.
drove past
So
that
we
really fast.
we picked up the speed there.
Yeah, say the least. So anyways, this is boulder, and on it is like this plaque with a name and then like a birth date and a death date.
Yeah, the
Now
guy
we're
was
just assuming
apparently
maybe-
buried in the rock.
Yeah, we're just assuming he's somehow inside this rock, or it's a troll, and he got caught in the sunlight. And
Either or, you don't know.
either
I'm
or
going to
we're leaving immediately. And so we're coming down, and then we started making our way down the mountains, and that was interesting. That was terrifying. The roads were just like, and Iceland, it doesn't make sense. Like it's like perfectly flat a lot of times, and you could just make a straight road, but their roads are just like, and they just curve.
The most indirect
so
routes.
much. We probably could cut like an hour and a half off of our trip. They made straight roads
And
when
gas.
they wanted to. Yeah. And so we're going down the mountain, and these roads are crazy. This is like just sheer drops, hundreds and hundreds of feet. No guardrail. The wind is whipping this yards
The
around.
road is like deteriorating at the edges.
I'm
of the
trying to
road.
like maintain control and make them and not.
Duncan's asleep in the
Not-
backseat.
yeah.
Oh, I'm not asleep.
He wasn't saying, hey,
Yeah,
I was
you were awake.
I was
Yeah,
awake
he was
at-
asleep.
I was asleep on one for no, I was asleep at one at Selfos.
Yeah.
Alright.
And then I stayed awake.
Alright, anyways. We almost died, and I was struggling to keep a calm face on. Because
We were also nearing E. We were like around like less than a quarter of a tank.
Yeah, and so we're coming through, and we finally get out of Mordor. That place was awful. It was just death. There wasn't even grasses.
Don't go
growing.
there.
Don't
Don't ever go to Crucifix.
We had to make a deal with the devil to get out. Duncan's gonna die next week.
Yeah.
We had to sell his soul.
Because then we came up to the mining site.
Oh,
there was just
that's-
like
Yeah, we come down and it was just like, you know that road that you see all the time in films where it's just like really long in the desert, like the one that goes to
Yeah,
Vegas.
the pavement randomly started there.
Yeah.
At that time.
We just were glad to see
And
pavement.
so there was just like construction equipment like off to the side and just this massive orange sign
Yeah.
that we still have no clue
It was an
what
abandoned mine and there was just like
It was just a road.
all sorts of equipment just
Straight.
abandoned.
And so once again, we just, because no one's coming, we stopped the car in the middle of the road and we're all like laying down in the middle of the road, taking pictures of
Running
everything
around.
and running around. 'Cause I mean,
Throwing rocks,
no one's gonna come.
Lots of rock throwing.
Yeah,
lots
that's
of
true.
rock throwing.
Yeah.
There.
Anyway, so and then so we just keep going down this road. That was a weird road. There's literally nothing, not even mountains at this
Yeah,
point. It's
it was
just
flat.
flat.
It was like the magma
rock.
rocks yet again that were really like jagged.
just straight across. Moss haven't even grown there yet. It was
No.
just empty. And then we come across
We start to hit civilization.
Yeah.
We get back on the main highway
buildings start coming.
after like 10 minutes on
And,
this road.
And then
And
we
then we
hit
see
the
these-
fish thing.
Yeah, we
There's
see
these
these giant
wooden
wooden
racks.
racks.
We're like, don't know what they are.
What is
like
this?
all these seagulls just like crowded
Yeah.
around them.
And we go up to this thing like, what is this? And we get up to one, and it's just
Of course, we just pull it. We just pull it the road towards the
thousands
stench.
and thousands of dead fish.
Hundreds of racks.
Oh,
Yeah.
just
There were octopus
Fish heads,
hanging,
octopus,
fish heads, bodies,
sharks.
tails.
I mean, it was eerie because we thought something was going to pop out and they kept us at this point.
Yeah.
It's just, there's
We got a quick picture.
Yeah, that was
Turned
like
ourselves around.
30 minutes outside of Reykjavik.
Yeah.
We were getting
Yeah.
pretty close.
Then we have gotten back. We actually passed where we came in today when we were going to Blue Lagoon. We finally get back onto like a legitimate interstate.
Yeah,
And
we're back
going-
on Highway 1 at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're coming into Reykjavik, and we see a Taco Bell KFC, and we're like, we gotta go to this Taco
After
Bell.
today, Taco Bell. So
So
we get there. 2 stories.
no, it's lovely. Like
That was
probably
really
the
nice.
nicest looking thing ever. But we get in there. I can't read anything on this menu.
They have all the meals set up like we do in America, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Except they're not in order.
It would just
It
be
was
like
like
3,
3,
7,
9,
8,
4,
2.
No conceivable order at all.
I go up to order and I'm like, yeah, let me get a chicken quesadilla and a Cool Ranch taco. What? Cool Ranch taco. What's a Cool Ranch taco? Never mind. It's an American thing. She didn't find humor in that.
It was ridiculous.
Got that. Then I got a Mountain Dew that was orange.
It was like, yeah, it was orangish yellow. It tasted like mango.
It was disgusting. And it was like your regular Mountain Dew.
And I'm going up to order, and I look back, and this guy who comes in starts befondling one of the workers.
The woman
This is behind the counter.
And this is just like 15 feet away. Just and he's just going.
She's in there folding my crunch wrap while he's making out with the side of her face. And I'm pretty sure I saw him just lick the length of her neck and her face and then walk away, and she just smiled as he walked away. I'm
And then
afraid
she
to
goes
eat
back
this
to
at this
make
point.
her
And she just puts it in the thing and lets it go. And it was terrifying. And then we finally get our food. Not delicious.
Terrible.
Not
They
delicious
didn't-
at all.
Not even by Taco
The
Bell.
KFC did
Yeah.
not have regular chicken strips. They only had spicy chicken strips. That's really depressing since it's KFC.
angry.
But I didn't
And,
care at this point.
Yes.
We had not eaten in like 7 hours.
Yeah, so we scarfed that down. And then we.
So then,
ride
yeah, then
it
we're trying to
back
figure our way
our
back.
place.
But
Oh my god.
the interchanges and the highway, you're just driving.
The whole time in America, it's all the time the road. Every 2 minutes, it's you're on 95. 2 minutes later, you're on 95. 2 minutes later, you're on 95.
But here
There's
you
just
get
like,
one side.
good luck, buddy. You get one sign when you turn onto it, and it might change. You might hit intersections. I
Yeah,
hope
so we
it's-
get off on the wrong interchange, we're in some neighborhood, we get back on the highway, take the right interchange.
We think we saw the girls from the fishing town, and then
Yeah, they were there.
They were there walking again. That was scary.
Yeah, we mess up on the roundabout that we had to take, so we got to go back through that.
We went through the roundabout like 3 times.
Then so we go to the gas station. I'm like, all right, I'll put in 10, you put in 10, you put in 10. We'll just keep going until it's full. So I go, I'll put 10 in the car, pump it, and then I guess Harry goes to put it in. His card won't work. Apparently he has like a 40-digit PIN number, and this one only takes like 2 digits or something. I don't know.
No, because my credit card doesn't have like a PIN number, and so I'm up there like.
It made
This
you
makes
put it in
no
a bin.
sense. And like kept trying a couple things and it worked. Duncan goes up, didn't
Yeah,
work.
it
Did
worked.
you try that too?
It didn't work
Mine
for
didn't
anybody.
I think all three.
Well,
of
we
us-
assumed it was saying
Well,
it didn't
and
work.
we
It was an
wanted-
Icelandic.
Yeah,
We had no idea what
everything
it
was
was
just
saying.
a guess.
Yeah.
It was like I think I should press this
We
button.
could have been charged
I'm not
like for
sure.
thousands of dollars of gasoline. We have no idea.
So we go to another gas station. Same experience. Leave, go to another gas station, and we just go inside and put in like $10 each.
The other ones
We
didn't
ended up
have
dropping
it inside.
Like
It was just tanks.
$100 on gasoline.
Oh yeah, it was.
Spent a lot of money on gasoline.
So we end up meeting this taxi driver who
What is going on?
we're getting some navigation, which we did not have. But
Oh, yeah, and John's putting the tank in it, and he's squeezing it, and then it's letting go. He's squeezing it, and he goes, what the heck is wrong with this thing? Squeezing it, letting go. Then all of a sudden, Duncan's like, he's like, here, you try it. And then Duncan goes up and squeezes it once, and gas just explodes out of it. The gas is all over Duncan.
It's coming out
all
of the
over-
It's like backed up for
It's like
miles.
arcing in gasoline. It's just
We-
across.
at this
It's
point,
every
we figured
gasoline's
out-
everywhere. Gas
we
spill.
put in at least $90, and we probably needed like 70. And it
Oh
was
my gosh,
we-
it was so full.
Because yeah, no, me and Duncan walked into this place.
Yeah, we left
Actually-
$20 on the pump.
It actually had
Drove
an
off.
inside, and so like there was a person there. We went up. We were like, Duncan was like, "Can I put 1,000 kroner on
Yeah.
pump one?"
They
And
just
I was like,
chuckled
"Can
at
I
him.
put another 1,000 kroner on pump one?" And there was this American taxi driver standing there, and he was like, "Oh, that's not gonna get you far." And we're like,
And we realized that was maybe like a 60.
So yeah, we started up a conversation with that guy. Apparently, he was born in Iceland. He went with his ex-wife. They lived in San Jose for 22 years. He has son who made good money. He had an electrician.
Yeah.
Daughter who accountant make good money is accountant. Guy who puts game in phone. Who make good money. And
They
then
all made good money, and then
he has Icelandic daughter. She make lots of babies in Iceland.
but very
He don't
pretty.
raise her.
yeah,
Very pretty.
She on welfare.
yeah.
She's also
she
wrong.
has babies to get more welfare, and he made it very clear that he did not raise
He
them.
had nothing to do with her.
And oh my gosh, and they were talking about some 25-year-old he wouldn't want his ex-wife.
Oh,
to
that
date. It got weird. Oh yeah, because he told us that he would
He was telling us about how stressful American life was.
No, he was like all the
Yeah, Icelandic
all the
life is
Iceland people
stressful.
just stress out all the time, and then they
Americans
just
are laid
drink
back.
so much on the weekends, and America's just like
Americans hardly
maybe
drink
one
at
or
all.
2 beers, and
At this point, we
Yeah,
had dropped
free.
off the rental car, and he had met us there because it was right down the street, and he was driving us back to the hotel.
Yeah.
And then we got back to the hotel, and just were tired. Oh, it had been
Multiple
12,
people
12
thought-
13 hours.
People thought we were dead.
Apparently, he
There's an
had tweeted
Amber
like
Alert
2
now.
hours in, we're lost, and then it went like 11 hours. of
no,
nothing.
I walk in, Grace Ann goes, "Yeah, when did John tweet that you guys were lost?" I was like,
Honestly, I have
When
no
did you
recollection of where I tweeted that.
When did
When did we find
there was
Wi-Fi?
no Wi-Fi, and I look at it and it's like, yeah, running a car and wandering aimlessly through Iceland was probably a bad idea. And I was like,
No wonder they thought we were
you guys
dead.
thought we were like
We
dead.
came back, and like they were mourning us basically.
That was short-sighted on my part.
yeah,
That was funny.
It was funny, and then we just
We just
Talked
talked
about
to
it,
y'all.
yeah, it
We
was-
literally haven't talked about it.
oh my gosh, yeah, we didn't tell anyone that we were renting a car really because we didn't want to get in trouble.
We just asked
The day
Ashley,
before-
what could we not do?
Yeah.
Is there anything that's out of line? and
That
out
was
of
that was the day before, and then we were
That was testing the
Alright.
waters.
When we met her guidelines, we did not get arrested.
we were legally we did everything
Nothing
legally
illegal,
for the most
yeah.
part.
We
Other
didn't
than
speed
we-
lights.
We went. there was a 90 kilometers an hour
Yeah.
limit, so they said, on the car, and we were like, let's test it out.
And this
And
is
so-
in the desolate. Where
So
no
we're in
one's-
the middle of nowhere. We haven't seen a car in hours. So I'm just pedal, just putting it down on the floor. We're going, and then we start hitting like 150 and
Which
kilometers
is
an
about, it was
hour.
about 88 to 90 miles
88,
an hour.
90.
In
And we
a
go a
rush.
little farther than that. The thing's like, the roads aren't the best. The thing's shaking. We just start to get a little afraid. We're like, all right. Apparently, the speed limit is not actually imposed on this car. Let's step off.
Where
the
were we
gas.
at one point where we were all getting in the car and the wind was just blowing?
Oh,
and I was using my full
Oh,
and I
that was
literally
like- yeah.
could
That
not
was when we
close
stopped
the
to take the
door.
picture. We
Yeah,
sat
at the empty place.
and-
He opens the door and the wind just flies the
I
door
thought the
open.
car was going to.
I thought the doors were gonna
Just
be
the car
blown
was just
down
gonna
the road.
explode. We were all gonna die. As the sign said, it was like wind will cause
Caution,
the
car door
to
will blow up.
Yeah. So
Literally could not close the door.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
and so we didn't tell them. We didn't want to tell them that we were renting a car because we didn't want them to tell us no. And turns out they would have probably told us no.
But greatest
So,
experience of the trip.
Definitely worth it.
Best
Easily
day.
best day. Best
Yeah.
day probably in my life.
Memories for life.
Fantastic.
The only way you can fully see a country is just get lost in the country.
Yeah.
To
We
a
saw,
certain
we saw so much of Iceland.
Oh,
that
that was
day.
crazy.
It was
Just having the freedom to just be able to pull over and stop. We're like, oh, that's cool. Let's stop.
Yeah.
Pull off the side of the road, hang out for 20 or 30 minutes. Just do whatever you want. No time limits.
Yeah.
Just make it back alive.
Incredible. Yeah,
Yeah.
which was tough sometimes.
Mm.
And we drove through hell.
Icelandic people are
Oh,
also insane drivers. We'd be going like 95 kilometers down the highway, and someone would just blow by you.
Yeah. It was rough. But it was a good day.
We passed a couple
It
of
was a great day.
Daring.
Good day, you guys have fun?
I had an awesome time.
Yeah,
That's
fun.
fun.
It's a good time. Yeah, so that's it. The saga of the
This
Yours
concludes
boys.
the saga of the Yours boys.